This will be a review on the new Marvel Legends Superior Spider-Man action figure. It is the first one that I've seen in the Captain America and Spider-Man line with the new packaging style that they're using, Hasbro. And right away, this is probably one of my favorite packaging designs in recent years. And before I open the figure, I just want to talk about the packaging and something I noticed about it. When we first saw it, I thought it was just a rectangle, straight. While the back is a rectangle, you see here there is actually a curve. It is a slight curved nature to the design. And I thought you could open the figure here on the bottom or the top. It seemed the obvious choice to just open it here. But you open it on the side. Either side, and there's just a piece of tape holding the package together. I'll talk about that in a minute. You could see the figure very clearly. It's not obscure. I like that. And you see the Build-A-Figure part here. It says Marvel Legends, the logo, and Superior Spider-Man. You see the Spider-Man logo on top. I like that. And just like the old Toy Biz ones, it says Build-A-Figure. They made sure they always mention that, the collect figure there. A nice image in the back of just the main character. I'm surprised there's like nothing in the way text-wise. It says Superior Spider-Man. Read it. Doc Ock prolongs his life by implanting his mind in the body of Peter Parker. Using Parker's powers, will Doc Ock erase Parker's legacy and become the Superior Spider-Man? And it goes here, the Build-A-Figure. Shows you the numbers, the Green Goblin. There's Carnage, and has the variant on the side here. Movie Electro, Movie Spider-Man. It has Black Cat, the Spider-Woman there. Boomerang Beetle, and Superior Spider-Man. And so, even though this packaging looks really nice, here is actually a problem that's going to happen in the future. It looks like if you're really careful and only a tape is holding it together, if you remove the tape by hand, you could take the figure out, and eventually, if you keep the packaging, you could put the figure right back in, and what's going to happen is some of these figures go up for like $100, the hot ones in the future, right? So someone technically could take the figure out, keep the packaging, and if they're really careful, years later they could put the figure back in the packaging and claim it's new, even though it might not be new. It's used. You see, an action figure, to me, technically, it's new and mint when it's still caught it. Once it's opened, it's no longer mint. And so, when you have this type of packaging design, if you don't get it early on, when it's out, you get a figure like this, in this type of packaging, 5-10 years later, how do you know the owner of it didn't open the figure, was just really careful with it and the packaging, and put it back? Since you never had the figure in the first place, and if the packaging is done really well, you're not even going to notice it. So that's probably going to be a fault of the line, because when you had the old Toy Biz stuff, the clamshell, or even the Hasbro with the carded figures, you knew it was still mint on card. You're not going to be able to tell in the future with this type of packaging. That's the only negative. So if you really want it new and made sure it's new, you have to get it now. What you want. I'm going to open this up now and continue the review. And to prove my point, I just opened the package carefully. I took the figure out. Look, there's actually no twisty ties at all. There's no twisty ties, there's no ropes or restraints, anything like that. For people who want to repackage this, let's say, there's no ties in the future to worry about for losing those parts. And let's just take a look. And it also has the Build-A-Figure, Green Goblin, instructions. I'm surprised they put that in there in the back. And would you look at that? I put the figure back in the package, taped it up again, and I probably just got to be careful on the tape. If someone is, you wouldn't tell the difference that it was opened or not. So think about that in the future, especially for figures that are going to cost like $50 or $100. Now, really going to open this up and continue the review. Why yes, I am the superior Spider-Man. No, most fools will never know that Doctor Octopus is really the new Spider-Man. And this is Superior Spider-Man out of the package. And right away I can tell that this is one of Hasbro's best Spider-Man action figures in the 6-inch scale in years. Yes, in years. That it is so articulated, but the articulation is well done. It's not messy. And from just the look, he's like a thin build. And some Spider-Man figures they made aren't. So he's more on the thin side. And tall, but also well articulated. I mean, just look at that. Just like the old Toy Biz style with this. And just the details, it looks just fantastic. The only thing that's missing is he has these like metal devices here for communication and to shoot webbing, and it's not on this figure, probably because they based this on the original promotion art. If you looked at that original cover, the way the hands were posed, you didn't see the back over here and see the metal wrist devices. So they probably, when they made this figure, they based it on that, and so that's why it's missing. And later in the book he made like sometimes a device in the back that he could have 4 tentacles that pop out. Not really essential, but that's something in the comics as well. Before I get into the details of this much more, just want to show you it does have the right leg of the Ultimate Green Goblin. It's a very dark green, blue pants. You could see how it's like sculpted on over there. It has a double knee, and the foot can go up and down and side to side. You can see scale-wise Ultimate Green Goblin. The leg, it's pretty high up there. And the only other accessories he comes with, it's these 2 spider post hands. This is the same type of hands that they used on Big Time Spider-Man and Kane. It's just too big, I think, in look. And I just like these more closed type of hands. I think most people or collectors will probably keep the hands this way rather than these hands, which I'll put on. You see this? It's that big hand versus the normal hand. Now he has both of these hands, and look how big it is. Or you could have one-on-one here. And just back to this. Even though you can swap the hands out, you can still turn it in or out and spin it around, because the articulation is right there. So it's nice that you still have the ability at the wrist and it's not hindered. That's well done. And now we can really get into the review in terms of showing you the details, the costume, the articulation. Citizens, have no fear. Spider-Man is here. So easy to fool. Most people will never figure it out. It's all a basic body mold. There's no real sculpting detail, which is good for a basic figure. You see the feet here, it's a little red, but this is just painted on. But it's still, I don't know, I have no complaints. Usually you want sculpting detail, but not on this type of figure. It just works so well. It's all black here, plain. The spider symbol here, it's almost kind of like the black costume Spider-Man, where it had a very big spider symbol. That's what it reminds me of, but the way it extends out of the design. And you look at the back here, again, kind of like the black costume, where it's just one big symbol in the back. Even seems to connect in a way. And everything here, plain. Even though this area, it's all black, you see the inside of the hand, it has the Spider-Man type of hands on the inside, but on the outside it's black. I like that idea. That's something new that we've not seen before. Just that little detail, something like that. The eyes sometimes appear black, but you see reflections in the comics. I like what they did here. It's black, but there's sort of like a dark glass type of look to the eyes. I think that was definitely the right way to approach making the figure. And the eyes are sculpted on in terms of the detailing. It's probably the only really sculpted part in terms of not just being painted on. You can see the eyes here, that detailing. And the head design, it's definitely one of the nicer Spider-Man designs. You see that? Where you could see like a nose area is supposed to be. And this is one really well articulated action figure. And I'm just going to show you that now. The down is really good. That's about as high as it goes up. Sides, you can spin it around. Get some good poses like that. Would have been nice if it had like some webbing or maybe a Peter Parker head you could switch out or something. But no extras. This is really nice. It has that inner out articulation. This is something like Toy Biz did, but on this one it just works really well. So it has that, and it has the up and down articulation being ball jointed there, and it has right here at the upper bicep that articulation. It has double elbows. I already mentioned that you can spin it and in or out. It has a really good upper body range here. Check out that crunch. Go all the way back and all the way forward. On a lot of the figures that have that type of crunch, it's usually not this extreme that it could go all the way down like that. But for Spider-Man, that's what you want. The waist side to side. The hips, while not ball jointed, it's that similar Hasbro style that they've used, side to side, up and down. And you still get a really good range of motion because you got the upper articulation points here. And you got the double knees. And while there's no articulation point here, you have the up and down and very valuable articulation point for a Spidey figure, the side to side. So this is the Superior Spider-Man. It's made by Hasbro, and I'm telling you, this is one of their best Spider-Man action figures in the 6-inch scale. As good as Toy Biz quality at their best days. It is that good of a figure. If you like Spider-Man, if you like the Superior Spider-Man book, which I do recommend, it is a really good storyline going on. And this figure, it just, I mean, they've done an outstanding job, and I'm really impressed with this action figure. And this was the first one I've bought in this new box style. The only concern, exactly what I mentioned at the start, people can repackage the figures in the future, and people years down the line will never know. So you're not going to be sure if it's mint or not, especially if it's been so long. But other than that, I do like the packaging style. Just want to mention that. And this figure is definitely tops in my book. One of the best figures The Avenger signal. Time for action. And a special mention to Leo, also known as Devil Toys UK 2. His link will be in the description for helping me to acquire this figure. Did you really think you could get rid of the superior Spider-Man that easily? Yeah, I know you're out there. My spider bots are all over the city. And they're probably in your house even as we speak. Yeah, I'm looking at you. The superior Spider-Man. Oh, you better subscribe to this channel because you're going to be seeing more of me. Maybe even a lot more on this superior Spidey channel. Maybe I'll just take over the channel. Gotta go now, got a spider signal to attend to. But you'll see me again on this channel. And it just might surprise you where.